Hello.
Hello. Can you believe it's Wednesday?
No,
It snuck right up.
it did. And then the last thing that I had said with Carolyn is she was like, I'm not gonna work Wednesdays anymore. And so then when I got here this morning and Carolyn was here, I was like, I thought it was Wednesday, but
Yeah,
maybe it's Tuesday.
Starts
next.
September.
Yeah, I was
so
really confused. So
yep.
um,
But she did say she was going to try to come in.
yes,
So hopefully
we'll see.
we'll
Your
still
son.
have
Yeah.
some help during the day.
That was
So,
why we
hello, everybody. Thank you
changed.
for
Yes,
joining us.
yes, crazy.
It's always crazy.
Does it feel like it's been like a whirlwind of the last couple weeks?
It really does.
Yeah, so much.
I don't know whether I'm coming or going. How about you?
No, I do not. I guess I'm grateful, like talking to the dealers and stuff. Lots of them were like their brother and Babylock, but several of them were also Janome, and that was just like a few days before brother. So they were like bam, bam,
Bam, bam, bam.
We were just bam, bam.
We're just bam, bam. We need a.
Yeah. Yeah.
We need our big
Yes.
stick.
Yes.
Big stick. What was that?
His it was like a bat, right?
Yeah, it's a bat. That's what
Yeah,
it is.
like
yes.
we're talking about the Flintstones bam bam.
Yes, in case you're not following our crazy train of thought.
Right.
God.
Crazy
Why are we
train over
talking
here.
about Bam Bam?
Yeah.
We're talking about the Flintstones.
We are. So you just never know what's gonna happen.
So welcome home.
Welcome home. Yes. I feel like it's only an hour behind, but I got home.
Messes you up, doesn't it?
And I got home late last night, so I'm definitely.
Yeah, you don't do night.
And I feel like we just like got off running this morning. I'm like, oh God, my brain's not working. So stuff.
Was it working before?
I mean, I feel like it worked a little, but some days are better than others. This morning was not a great start for me, but I'm here.
So there's some fun new Babylock
Yes.
stuff, though. So,
Yes.
a lot of the Brother and the Babylock products are the same, quote unquote.
Yeah, overlap.
There's a lot of overlap.
Yeah.
So, when one comes out with something, the other one has almost the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But there is some difference that we get some things that are only Brother, and then we get some things that are just Babylock. And it's always interesting to see what they are.
Right, what they pick and choose.
Because, obviously anything Scan and Cut is just Brother. And then those things that are working with all of that. So the Art Spira and all of the wireless and all of that is just Brother.
Yes.
And there's nothing in that equivalent aspect when it comes to the Babylock side of things. But the Babylock side of thing has the whole Serger world.
We do. We have a lot of fun Serger stuff.
And there's some new playthings with that, and
some new mashups, some new things that we'll be able to do with our Serger stuff.
There's some cool stuff.
I'm so excited about.
I don't know. I kind of forgot that there would be some other stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I was super excited when you started.
And it wasn't just
what
we already know.
I'm like, oh, I already knew all that. Oh, wait. There's new stuff.
There's new stuff. Yeah.
I was super excited to see the pictures of some of the new bags and different things. So the one you can kind of see between sitting us, that black double zipper thing between us. The one I saw ahead of time, but the other two they didn't show.
Right.
And it wasn't on. It's still not right on.
No, there's no good picture.
There's no good pictures anywhere.
Our picture is atrocious because.
So apologies ahead of time for the really, really terrible photos.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for both of them. I think they're really great. Everybody has been asking for as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
We really need something, for a stabilizer organizer. We've been using this, that, and the other thing, and everybody has, retrofit this and
trying to make things work that don't necessarily work.
No, they really don't.
No, but these are cool.
They did a nice job. And, somebody said, oh, well, what am I supposed to do if I have 20-inch? I'm like, oh, they thought of that too. So we'll pop that up here in just a few. And then there's a hoop bag, which, we've had tons of different options for rolling bags for your machines, but the hoops don't really have a good home, or maybe one hoop. But like if you're wanting to take multiple hoops, it's been really hard. And then a lot of us don't have great storage for our hoops at home.
Because they're so big.
Because they've gotten really big, and you can't just have one or two. You have to
No,
have a whole
a whole
bunch.
bunch.
So, I'm fortunate enough, and I know that you have storage, but I know that we're not necessarily the majority of
Right.
that. There's a lot of people that don't have
Good
a
places.
large sewing room
Right.
that has, this huge wall space or something, or a big shelf or whatever that they can store those in. So I thought this was a really great
Yeah.
solution for that. There's a bag that literally has padded pockets.
Yeah, it's almost like a file, like a
But
file folder that is padded and designed
For
for
hoops.
large hoops. And I'm told that it is more than a little bit 20 inches inside. So even our largest 10 and a half by 16-inch hoops
Will
should
fit.
fit in there. The magnetic hoops, I'm told, will fit in there, and there's quite a bit of space, so you should be able to put all of those
So
hoops
from
in
the,
there.
the photo, it looked like there was at least 5 pockets.
Yes, I believe there's.
It
I
looked
believe
like
there's
there was
5
4 dividers that
and
I could
then,
see.
yeah.
So there would be 5 slots.
Yep.
And they were
They
a
were
good
at least
a field
yeah.
a field anyways. At least it looks like an inch-ish
I was thinking they were probably like an inch to inch and a half.
somewhere
Yeah.
in there. So it looked like you could fit 1 or 2 hoops at least per slot. So I was like, this looks like there's a lot of room.
Yeah.
And a nice amount of some wiggle room
Some
to
wiggle
play
room.
and then nice and easy to transport if you are going somewhere else to play.
Right, because they're nice and padded. And like we had this happen one time. We took a large hoop, and it was right when the luminaire came out. We took a hoop, and the hoop broke on us, so it snapped right in half. It got cold, and
It
then
was in my hands.
I wasn't gonna tattle on you. I was
It's
just gonna say
okay.
it broke.
It was me. Oh my God. Talk about your heartbreak.
She was like,
I was like, just kept looking around like, fix it. I mean, sorry, I just hit my microphone. My heart just literally,
yeah,
it made it all the way to where we were going. And when I literally pulled it out of the car, it just snapped because it was so cold and it didn't have
and
any
it's
protection.
thin over on that area.
And those edges are not super. And so it was that large hoop. And yeah, I just moved it out of the car and there it went.
And the larger the hoop, the more expensive it is.
Yeah. Needless to say, Boss Man wasn't super happy about that. But I was like, well, you should have packed that better.
We just flipped that right off.
I was like, yeah, that's not my fault. This is totally your fault. It was in your car. You should have packed it better. But yeah, I did. I felt so bad. But yeah, so super excited that there is a storage and transport vehicle for our hoops now. So we're going to show you some crappy picture and talk about that.
And the padded cases, we can bring this over.
I'm still excited.
They are gorgeous.
This is really beautiful. So you get a quilted, first of all, it's quilted. So it's not just a random
and
yucky
black with the gold
with a really beautiful trim work and beautiful stitching on there. It's double zipper. So the top has a double pocket and then there's a little elastic pocket so you can slide something in there if you don't want it to lose, or you can just dump loose stuff in there. So depending upon what it is that you are transporting. But this is fantastic. So you've got, I don't know if you guys can see super well, there's a nice grid that you can put, I don't have anything over here. You can put spools of thread in there or random other things. I was going to say what I have over there is not appropriate. I've got my jar of inappropriate words. Yeah, inappropriate words. So spool of thread fits perfectly in there. And so project bag, again, when you're going to a retreat or even coming to class that you're putting all of your miscellaneous things, just perfect organization. And you're going to look good doing it. Right. And so everything could match. You could have all of this beautiful, nice matching luggage. And honestly, there wouldn't be any judgment here if you were a brother person. And you had to have all of these goodies because this is very well done. And you know, not to knock Brother or anything, but we've had some random Brother organizational things that are nothing like this. Babylock did a really great job. So super excited about these. This particular one, I was like, okay, I need one of these because I take things home. You know that.
Yeah,
you all know that. I, you know, do floor samples and different things. So I'm constantly dragging things back and forth from home and back here and whatnot. So I was super excited because I'm like, this is perfect. I can just take whatever it is that I need to work on that night. I can put it all together and have the miscellaneous things that I need for that.
Exactly.
So this is called a double quilted organizer, and you can see the shape. It's you know, about as tall as my head. And then it's got two different pockets. The top has a elastic mesh here. So halfway through you could tuck things in, tools or miscellaneous parts in there, or you could just have that whole pocket. And if you can see, it is about yay deep. So about 1.5 inches deep there. And it has two zippered pockets on the top, and then it has one zippered pocket in the second piece here, and you have 15 slotted pockets in the bottom here. This is not
they don't come out.
It's not removable on the bottom. It is
preset.
It is stitched in everywhere, so it is definitely intended for, you know, those spools of thread or smaller items to be tucked in there. So it is not removable. You know, our scan and cut tote piece.
But look at the
that
detail.
quilting and detail it's just beautiful.
Yeah. So, and this is what matches like all of the luggage.
The new luggage that they came out with has all of this detailed quilting on it.
Yep.
They did a really beautiful job.
So the stabilizer holder is the same color scheme. The hoop holder, and then the new rolling baggage luggage that's also coming out. All the same like little quilted look with the little gold stitching.
Trim.
Yeah, it's really, really beautiful.
And it's a metallic. It's a nice, it's like a satiny finish. It's not that rough canvasy finish.
No, it feels really nice.
It's just beautifully done. They really did a nice job. And that metallic gold thread it's gorgeous. It's really, really pretty. Feet, small, large, or mini king spools of thread is what they're suggesting for the individual pieces. So what I was going to say is that that Brother scan and cut storage piece.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Is similar to how that was, you know, it's got those sewn in dividers.
This would be a great scan and cut case.
It would.
I mean,
I actually
blades?
cut my sewn
boxes.
I actually cut out some of those dividers so I could have a larger section. Because I mean, it's mine, so I just do whatever I want.
Right.
I just cut out some of those. So, you know, I was like, okay, I want a longer section. So I just literally went chink, chink. I saved them. I didn't like cut them out. I squished them over and I just put some tape down. So I didn't remove them permanently in case I ever wanted to put them back. But you could technically do that if you wanted to. So I am in love with this little guy. It reminds me of that little train case we had of our little makeup or whatnot.
Definitely great.
But yeah, it's super, super great. And
hi guys.
Hi Mom. So that is some of those new things. Do we want to show the pictures of the other ones?
Yeah, so we're going to pop them up. I apologize. Again, these
pictures are not ideal.
Terrible.
So we're hoping for some better ones to come soon.
They were so popular that like every time I went over there to try to get a picture, they were either gone because somebody
had picked it up and dragged it around somewhere.
Someplace, or somebody had their hands all in it. And so I snapped like the quickest picture that I could get. And like I said, and the real pictures are not up on the Babylock website yet. But I apologize.
White box.
They're atrocious.
There's no picture at all.
No.
Not even a bad picture. There's no picture at all on our site for us to order. So this is the frame tote. I'm going to see if we can.
Oh, there we go.
Adjust that a little bit. So you can see over here on the side, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 of the dividers. And it is padded, so it's definitely got that cushion, which equals 5 pockets. And you also, it does look like have a zipper pocket on the front.
On the front, yeah.
As well, but you can see that it has that beautiful metallic gold stitching, the really big, pretty gold zippers, and it is that satiny finish with the quilted front. So again, super pretty, as well as functional, which, you know, as all of our things should be.
Right, absolutely. And really, for luggage, reasonably priced. You know, we've had some luggage pieces, oh, I'm so sorry, that have been super duper expensive. So this is going to be a $111.99. So that is how much it is. Aw, Gail was with Cheryl. But yeah, it's super duper fun. And I think it's nice that it wasn't, in the past couple of years, they've been like really bold prints. And so if you were not like the bold style person, if you liked things to be
if you like the more subtle and classy look versus the little bit more crazy stuff,
it's been a while.
It's been a while.
We
so it's
had
nice.
That hot pink and that teal, and last year the big bold floral.
The big florals. They did have, and we still actually, I think, have a really pretty deep red with a gold print, which I really like that one. But this one is, I just love this. This is very classic. And they just did a really, it does. I mean, classic black. Can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong.
Cannot go wrong. So again, super excited. This has, I think, a lot of potential. You could also, you know, if you wanted to throw other things in some of the other pockets, you know, you're going to need your 5x7 and your big hoop for wherever it is that you're going.
Fit like some stabilizers that you pre-cut.
Exactly. Yeah. You can put so many things, I think, in here. And it's got a handle on the top. Did it also have a shoulder strap or anything?
It did. I think that shoulder strap, yeah.
So I think that this is going to just be super popular for multiple travel and for home storage as well. So you could use it for either way.
And I promise, as soon as we have a better picture,
we will put a better one up.
We'll go up there.
Or multiple photos as soon as we have some others available. So if you are looking, we are right at the homepage. So as soon as you open our website, if you scroll down just a little bit, that's where we're at. So they are right there and in the What's New tab. So that's where you can find these if you are looking to pull them up for yourself as well. The second thing that we've been talking about is this really cool guy right here. And this is the stabilizer organizer. So this is still a pre-order. I'm not sure what's the delivery time on those. Did you hear anything?
I did not.
Okay.
And you know what? I know I plopped them in our shopping cart today, and I don't remember if it said they were in stock. I meant to look at that.
Well, we can check that out. So this is under $100, which is really great.
Pretty good.
Again, everything just seems to be getting more and more expensive. So I'm super excited that this one isn't. I mean, not that $100 isn't, you know, a chunk, but I was fearing that this was going to be hundreds, not less than 100. So I was glad to see that this was a little under 100. So the top section here is going to be for those 12-inch or smaller rolls, and you've got the clear so you can see through to see what you have in each pocket, which is great. We've got that beautiful stitching with that gold metallic in the center there, and then you have these horizontal rolls that you can put your 20-inch, or you could put some 12s in and have them coming from either side as well. So either way will certainly work. You can go either if you're not a 20-inch roll need based on what your machine is, you could certainly put two 12-inch and just having them, pop out a little bit on each side of that.
Absolutely.
It certainly would work from there.
So it looks like they're not in stock yet, but coming soon. So obviously, if you want one, I don't know. No one could tell me if this was going to be like a staple or if this was going to be like a special
limited
run.
time.
I would definitely say if you want these, order them now.
Order it so that we are assured that we're going to be able to get it for you, because
absolutely.
When they say limited time on things, they do mean limited time.
Yeah.
So they haven't said that as of the moment, but
typically their bags are not.
Any of the bags are limited time. They don't generally keep anything for
No.
a real long period of time. So if it's something that you're thinking about, put it on your Christmas list, put it on your wish list, whatever, or find someone to put that deposit, or not deposit, but put that on their shopping list for you. So
call us with your Synchrony card, and
Yes,
we'll
absolutely.
then you can get 6 months to pay it off.
Yep, you can do the two together,
The two
and
together, yep.
that will meet the minimum purchase dollar amount, and you can
Yep.
have 6 months to pay for these two guys.
Absolutely.
So this has 12 pockets on the top, and then 6 long pockets on the bottom. So that is the stabilizer organizer. And again, apologies for the glare on the plastic pockets there, but you can get a really good idea of what that looks like. It is an over the door. So you've got the 2 circle pieces there that would hook up right up over the door. If you happen to have slat wall or peg or something like that, you could also put that right on one of those,
slide
right into that.
So Mary asks, Babylock storage bag, is it available to purchase? It absolutely is. We are actually, the view that you're looking at right now is the place where you would go to purchase it.
Do we have that one on there?
Do we have what on there?
The little zipper one.
Yes.
Okay.
It should be somewhere.
Okay.
I thought that I put it in what's new, but it maybe just hit the view all
go,
button.
Yeah, let's go to, that'll work. So we'll come back to that one in just a second. Let's
Look up under BL-DBL QLT. There it is.
There it is. So this is the bag that we were talking about before. Regular price $59.99 is currently on sale for $47.99. And we do actually, obviously we have that one. We've got 2 others here at the moment, I believe. So we do actually have that.
That one is actually in stock.
In stock. So, so there you go. That, I think, is the one that you were talking about, Miss Mary. So you should be able to find that double organizer. If you searched for that, you should be able to find it there. So
I'm going to try and get it on the front page.
She's messing around with that. All right, I'm going to go back to the what's new, and we can see some of the other things. So this next item up here, you're very welcome, Mary. The other totally different direction here. So you actually got to sew with this table, right?
I did.
So this is for all of you top of the line serger owners out there. If you have an Ovation or a Triumph, so the Ovation is just basically the previous version. The Triumph is the upgraded version of your Ovations. For any of you out there wondering, I don't know what I have. If you have an 8-thread serger that has a throat, then you have one of these machines. So this is basically the cover stitch table that has a blade cover built into it.
Yes.
So instead of having the completely flat surface, you have that blade cover built in. Do you have a different description?
No, it was really, really fun to use. So if you have an Ovation or you have a Triumph and you have all of those accessories, so the double fold, bias binder, all of the binder pieces, the downturn filler, the simple hammer, all of those, plain hammers, all of those, they will attach to that table just like they would do any other time.
Even just your seam guide.
Seam guide, yes.
Even if that, you just need to know where the edge is.
Yes, if you're trying to make sure that you've got your 5/8 or your 3/8 seam or something like that, it's much easier to look in the front and have that extra plate area. Oh my God, I know you're trying not to, right?
Thanks.
But it was so, so nice. And it gives a lot more stability to the fabric as you're riding it through. And it was just a lot of fun. We did some really fun decorative things, like using the binder and stuff like that, like putting extra stitches on top of it. So it was a lot of fun.
Keep going.
Oh, that was it. I mean, it's just absolutely fantastic. I think that everyone, if you like to play with your serger, you will have a ton of fun with that. And it's really going to increase your ability to be accurate, because you can there's no more measuring like from the edge of the needle over to make sure that you're hitting that sweet spot on those stickers. So it's so nice. I really enjoyed playing with it, and it'll be fun to make. I was just thinking, like, all of the fun things that you can do with it. Like, if you want to put binding around like a bag handle or something like that, to give it a little bit more strength, and you'll have that fun, you'd still have that fun decorative stitch covering the edge. So it was a lot of fun to play with.
Well, I like just the thought of being able to cut and still have the table, because I mean,
Right
how
now
many
it's dead space there.
Yeah, you lose the ability to have all of your flat working space if you have your blade up.
Exactly.
So just being able to have a blade and a table is so nice. So this is actually, we do have this just got.
Do we have extras?
I think I have one extra coming on the order. So the first two that you ordered, before we actually had any orders, well, actually, I think we had one ordered or something like that. Those were both. Those are sold. We have two more that have been sold since then, and I think I ordered 5. Okay. So I've got one more coming, and they are shipping. So though this says pre-order, it technically is shipping.
Yes.
So
I just
as soon as it gets here. Which, again, with convention just ending, everybody is ordering. Right. Which means the warehouses are...
Depending on how many they have.
Are getting backlogged with, lots more orders than typical are coming in, which means the shipping times are a little bit longer than typical. So, in stock, it sounds like they have them because we have gotten them already. Right. But the time to get it here. So if you are one of those people that just ordered one, it's already been ordered and it's on its way. The next person that orders one, that one is on its way. And then after that, we will be ordering more. So, but they are available. So it's just a matter of getting more here. So I'm super excited. And it does, just for clarification, work for the Ovation or the Triumph.
If you've got that wide space.
If you've got that 5-inch throat, it'll work for either machine. But you do need, it does not work for the Evolution or for the Accolade. Right. You do need that 5-inch throat to make this work.
It also does not work for the Euphoria. It would fit on a Euphoria, but a Euphoria doesn't have a blade. Right. And it doesn't have 4 threads. So it would be
non-functional from that perspective.
Exactly. It would be, it would not, it would fit on it.
That.
but it wouldn't work real well because you don't have anything to cut. So
you don't have that blade that you need to cover.
Exactly.
So Gail's asking about sewing machine feet and the bottom of the bag. So here's the bottom of the bag. I've got an ankle with a foot attached. You certainly can fit that in there. It does get a little bit lost in there, but you could put multiple feet in there, or you could separate that out. I've also got our multi-position screwdriver, so you can see size wise, we can fit lots of different things. Miscellaneous tools. So this is just a small seam ripper. You can see that even up tall, and a USB, we could fit multiples of things fitting in there. So lots of flexibility of how you want to use that. Certainly you could even wrap, if you're worried about the feet bumping into, you could wrap them in fabric and have that have lots of storage without having them be jostled up against one another if that's something that you were worried about
Yep.
too.
Yep.
So lots of flexibility on how you could use this.
Or if you have some smaller feet, that might be a great place for the little.
Or there was the 2 zippered pockets in the top.
Yep, absolutely.
That you have some others. So I mean, lots of
choices
of where you can put what. You can really personalize how you like to organize your parts and pieces in here.
Yep. But some of the bigger feet, like your embroidery foot, and
Absolutely.
like my favorite dynamic walking foot and things like that, they're going to slide into those little holes.
And some of those things that you don't have room for in where we put our typical feet. And like you were saying, this would be great for scan and cut because your blades
would be in there.
and
nice
then you do have the longer storage, which the other case
for
doesn't
your other
have.
tools, yeah.
That you could put, your picks and whatnot up in this guy here. So I mean, this would be a wonderful tool case from that perspective.
Yep, absolutely.
So lots and lots of options there.
So many good choices.
All right. So what else we got?
We already talked about those feet.
Do you want to talk about what you have over there?
Well, actually, I think that because we were talking about the plate and all of the accessories, I think that's a good segue into the new Accomplish and what you will be able to do with those. So
let me go find that.
It might seem like a strange thing to say, oh, we were just talking about sergers, and now let's talk about a straight stitch only machine. So we have the Accomplish 2, and we have both we also have the brother version of
the
this.
PQ 1600.
The PQ 1600. That's right. So at the brother convention, Lisa and I are making an assumption that these machines will do the same thing because brother is making both. But at the brother convention, they definitely don't talk about using your Babylock accessory.
I don't know why. Can't imagine why that didn't come up
on the machine. But at the Babylock convention, they certainly did tell us about one of the really, really cool features of the Accomplish 2. So we've had the Jane, the Accomplish. It's been called a bunch of different names over the years, and they went really outside of the box by naming this the Accomplish 2.
Yeah, that was a tough one to follow.
I'm really impressed with their creativity with this, but I'm glad because it's still got purple on it, so that makes me happy. But if you are looking, so let me put this back up on the screen here. So if you look at the base part of the machine here, so
ooh, where did that go?
Just to the right of where the foot is. So in that general area right there, there is a new space on the base of the machine. And this is built right into the actual base. So it's not something that's part of the needle plate cover or anything. There are screws there. Those screws are going to line up with all of those attachments that you have for your Triumph or your Ovation.
Nice.
So all of the binders, all of the flat fellers, yes, the plain hemmers, all of those are all going to attach to this machine. And I am so excited. I have a Jane. I am definitely going to have an Accomplish 2 because the ability to use those features
on this machine
with my serger features is just blowing my mind. I'm just so excited.
So both of those are sold. I just want you guys know I had it marked to not sell. I've changed it, so we can't accept orders for those.
Okay, yep. So we sold out of that.
Oh, the bags?
Of the bags. But we did mark it so that it could sell even after we were out. So if you hit our website and you were like, hey, I can't buy it, you can now, and we're going to order more. So don't stop buying.
Hi, Dad.
Hi, Dad. Hopefully you're not underwater. You're online, so I'm assuming you have power and internet. So, but it is just, I was just blown away at the thought of, I bought my Accomplish so that I could make bags. And I see people like putting binding on the outside edges of like the leather and the vinyl and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, that's really cool. But the thought of doing it by man, it just, I'm like, really? But I'm like, oh, no, I can do it because it'll just be lickety split. So I'm so excited about that.
That's one of the things that I've always loved about the serger is all of the feet.
Right.
I mean, I don't use my serger as much as I should.
Right.
I mean, I have a really nice serger, but it doesn't get the use.
It could.
I mean, what I use it for,
Mhm.
I use it a decent
Right.
amount, but it's basically the same stitch
Right.
over and over again.
Right.
So I'm always like, I try to push myself to get out of that box when we have Surgery Month and we do our surgery event. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, let's learn something new this year and
Yes.
do something that I don't do all of the time. For crying out loud. They call me and I hang up on them. They call me right back every time. And I'm like, I'm always busy when they call. They just don't grasp. So sorry about that. So I just love all of the things because
Yeah.
the feet make it so that all of those things you're like, yeah, that would be really cool. But yeah, those feet they did such a good job. They
Yeah.
really did. Those feet make all of those weird things, not weird, things that would just be harder, not harder.
Not harder. Yep. They
And
make them
so
easy.
they do. They make it achievable for
Right.
people that just don't really feel like I'm comfortable enough to attack that. It makes that comfortable.
Yeah.
And so I love that about all of those feet. And so to have that be so accessible now on a completely different machine.
I know, right? It's
How
like,
amazing is that?
It like doubles the. It makes it makes them just that much more or more affordable.
More affordable because
they're
there's more
dual
use.
duty, right?
Yes, there's
Yeah.
more use for them.
Right. And so the things that are different, the needle threader it's a little easier to use.
Okay.
I definitely, it's the needle on this machine is sideways because
Right.
it's kind of a semi-industrial machine. So it's a little tricky for me to get the needle threader in, but I did this one without any, there were no bad words. So I thought, well, they definitely have, I can't really put my finger on what they did, but it's different because now I can use it.
Now you can do it.
So, and the thread cutter on the side of the machine is a different shape. It actually cuts the thread a little bit easier. It's a little bit bigger. They have redesigned the tension unit on there, so it is supposed to handle thicker threads with better ease. So there's a little bit more adjustment built in there. And I'm also told that they did something to the hand wheel. I could not specifically feel anything different about the hand wheel. So it may be something internally, but it doesn't like it feels like a hand wheel. I'm like, okay, it still feels like a hand wheel. And exactly,
Feels
right?
like it did yesterday.
And now we have needle stop up as well as needle stop down.
I do remember that. Yeah.
So those are the big things. But I kept asking, so what's new about the Accomplish? And a bunch of people were like, well, I don't know. Oh, I don't know. Well, I don't know. And then all of a sudden I was in the class and they're like, oh my God, wait till you see this. And I'm like, oh, I'm texting Lisa. I have to have this.
She did. I was like, oh, well, yeah, I didn't get any of that at Brother. Imagine that. They didn't say, hey, you can use all these Babylock feet on this machine.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Right. So, we have always sold the Babylock version of this. And the Brother one, I put the Brother one up just so people can see. So there's a couple $100 price difference between the Babylock version and the Brother version. So Babylock is $1,199 and the Brother version is $999. And there's something about this one when I look at it. The blue on the side is nice, but for some reason it doesn't scream like super industrial to me. That whole side piece looks like it's plastic. I have never had my hands on it, so I have zero idea of whether or not that really is like that, but it does look different to me. So they both come with that large tray. They both come with the knee lift. So from what I can tell, they're always going to come with the same accessories. But I do think that I like the metal sleek version of the Accomplish. And, of course, I definitely like the,
I don't know that I can separate these out because they're both in my same page.
Can you do a split screen?
That's what I was trying to
like minimize that page.
Close tabs, open in what I want to do is open.
Like, can you do that and then have two of them open at the same time? And then pull that out.
Do.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to do. Yeah, I don't want that. Come here. There you go.
And so you can see like on the side that the accomplished one, it's white on the side instead of blue. So it definitely, the pieces are there, and it probably is.
It looks like the same machine.
It probably is exactly the same, but there's just something about that little stripe there that I still think I still think that I want. I toyed. Do I need the brother version or do I need the Babylock version? But I definitely.
Well, I have to tell you that I am a big proponent of when you sit down in front of it, you have to like what you feel like when you're sitting in front of your machine.
Exactly.
And, we talk about that a lot here because
How it makes you feel.
How does it make you feel when you sit down in front of it? Do you like gold or do you like blue?
Accomplished. It makes
Do you
me
feel
accomplished.
Do you feel joy?
Yeah.
Do you feel zesty? Do you feel? But I mean, it's funny, I know
Right.
that the Solaris and the
And
Luminaire
are
are exactly the same underneath that.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel different when I sit down in front of one and when I sit down in front of the other.
Right.
I literally have a different experience, and I know that they're doing the same dang thing.
Right.
But I feel different when I sit down in front of one and when I sit down in front of the other.
Right.
I have a personal preference.
Right. And it's just personal.
It is literally the aesthetics of the machine,
Right.
of what I see in the shape of the buttons, because one are round and one are square, and there's gold and there's blue or there's whatever, So, I mean, there is a difference in how what you see and how you feel when you sit down in front of a machine makes a difference.
Right.
Sometimes there's a price difference and sometimes there's
There
not.
isn't. Right.
So sometimes the price is going to make that decision for you.
Yes.
But sometimes they're the exact same price too. So
Right.
it's like, okay, which one do you like the way it looks?
Exactly.
Because it's going to give you a different experience when you sit down in front of it.
It is. Yes. You're going to feel different when you're sewing on it.
Exactly. And so, that definitely, you should take that into account, especially if there's no price difference.
Right.
Which one do you like the feel of?
Exactly.
Because you're going to be sitting down in front of it a lot, we hope anyways.
Yes.
I mean, that's the idea.
That is the idea. Absolutely.
So if you have a favorite color or, favorite shape,
Yes.
there's your answer.
Right. Right. Absolutely.
So, absolutely.
But as far as we know, they are pretty much the same machines. On this picture, you can see a teeny tiny little space on the side that looks like it is the same round circle that the Accomplish has. It's funny because I asked everyone who I thought would give me a straight answer, will the brother version of this have the same thing? And I got 6 different answers and they were all basically no. I still feel like it's got the same little area, so it's likely that the pieces are going to be put in there, but it is also,
that?
Yeah, it's the little circle thing that's to the right of the needle plate. That's where the attachments are supposed to go in. And it's like impossible for me to tell for sure if they are identical or not. But
yeah, that's a super clear picture, don't you think?
Right, but there is a space, and
There
so
is stuff there.
someone told me that there were that's a plug in the base, and that it wouldn't support the holes. Someone else told me that the screws are going to be different because this one will work with the there are, I guess, some brother attachments for the sergers that this one might work with. And someone else said, oh, brother and Babylock are not the same. So, of course, it will not work. So I
love that. I absolutely love the Babylock is different.
Right.
Answer.
Yes. And so I really, and they're not due in until October. So I don't have, we like to be pretty transparent here. I don't know for sure.
Right.
And we
haven't decided what we're really going to do in store.
Right.
Because we're not sure whether they're the same or they're different. And, if they're the same,
right,
we're going to lean one way. And if they're not, we're going to lean another. And,
right.
And, it's,
ultimately, we have both of them for sale on our website right now. We may not always have, we will probably end up having one or the other on the floor.
Right. We won't have both on the floor.
But we will certainly be able to order one or the
anybody,
other.
Whichever one they want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, Yeah, Deb says that she has the 1500 straight stitch. I mean, I have a Jane, which is of the 1500 straight stitch for the Babylock version of that. And I was perfectly happy with it until I realized that I could use all of my serger attachments.
And now I need that little screw plate
now,
there.
and everybody asks, can you just buy a new base? No, you cannot. So, or if you can, they're not going to let you do it. So, but I'm excited. I'm excited to be able to play around with those new features. And
well, you know, some of those feet can look a little daunting if you don't know how they work and how to apply whatever it is that you're feeding through them into.
Right.
But wow, once you've used them, you're like, whoa.
Well, and now
that wasn't hard.
I have twice the opportunity to use them, right?
Yeah.
I'll be even better at them.
Fantastic. It's all you, babe. But no, one of the classes that I took at Babylock Tech when we first went, I was like, oh, I'm going to put binding on what?
Yeah, exactly. On what?
Okay.
What do you want me to do?
You feed this piece of fabric through here and it comes out the other end all done. You're like, whoa, look what I just did.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything. I just hit the gas pedal and look at that.
Fancy like Applebee's.
On a date night, baby. Let me tell you. I felt like I'd been taken on a date. No, I was quite happy at the end of that date.
Right.
So there you go.
So that is what I know about that machine. And I'm very excited that we are coming up with that.
So you've got a couple things over there. Do you want to talk about any of them?
Yeah. So this one.
I like that one.
This is so cute. So this is just a card. Right? It's just a simple, this is cardstock. She got the cards at like Hobby Lobby, so there's nothing special about them.
It's not.
And it was all created in the design center or the IQ designer. Okay. So obviously it was in the IQ designer because I was at Babylock Tech and not Brother.
Imagine that.
And so here is this card. So the simplicity of it is that there's not a ton of things to it. So I'm going to try to get a little bit closer here so you can see. So what we have is basically a shape, and we have fills, and then we have a little candle wicking, because who doesn't like a little candle wicking? And there is some applique on here. It's a triangle to represent a Christmas tree. And then there is organza over the top of it, which is what gives it like its shimmer. Now, this was really funny. You know, as an applique shape, usually you cut pretty close to the line. They gave us like
crappy scissors,
giant Fisker scissors that you couldn't even remotely get close. And I'm in this classroom full of people that are like us, right? And they are trying so hard to cut,
to make it look good,
right? And then the teacher keeps saying, "Come on, guys, we've got to move on. We only have an hour and a half. We're 30 minutes into this, and you're still doing your Christmas trees."
Were you like, you should give us better tools?
She's like, I did not get to pick. I didn't get to pick the tools, and I'm really sorry. But she's like, I promise you're really not going to notice it underneath it. And you really don't notice it underneath it. So
that's funny.
This is, and if you're not familiar with what design this is from one of the design suites. So this is the
we
Christmas
talked about
one.
Design suites last week.
Yeah. And this is one of them. There are currently 4 out. I have seen a sneak peek of the 2 that are coming. There's one that's going to come out that I feel like it's going to be like crafters type, because there was like
some sewing and knitting.
Some knitting
or
and yarn balls and like knitting needles and things like that. So it was really cute. And then like some the blender. The pot, the mixer, the whatever that brand is that's super popular. You know, the KitchenAid ones.
KitchenAids.
Yes, I'm like, it sounds like.
I'm like, who's an art? No, that's not it.
Yeah, those big countertop ones.
Yeah.
They were like a mixture of those all over the place. So that was a lot of fun to see some of those things and know that they're coming out. So I am super excited. And the gal who
taught called Becky Homecki?
It should, right? The gal who taught this class here, she is the gal who created these designs.
Okay.
And so I was in a class with a bunch of people who I guess were not quite as excited about design fills as I was. And so they were like, well, what are we supposed to do with this? And at the end of the class, I said to the lady, I'm like, I'm not really sure that anybody else appreciates these as much as I do.
But thank you.
But as far as I'm concerned, we cannot have enough of these.
Keep going.
I'm like, I am absolutely obsessed with fills, so please keep making them because there are some of us that love them.
So when I was at Brother, I did speak with Cindy Hogan.
Yes.
And she has some, and we are
really
we
cute.
are talking with her to try to get those available through us.
Yes.
So haven't gotten there yet, but that is in the works as well. So a few others are maybe coming. So as that too.
Yeah.
So you've got the outside of this is a decorative motif that was brought in
a line
from
motif.
a line motif from one of the add-on design suites, and then the ornaments are from a design suite.
Exactly.
And then the candle wicking is a built-in in the IQ or the design center, depending upon your machine.
Exactly.
And then, of course, the words you just typed in when you got over.
She brought them in, but she picked a font, and of course, they didn't let us.
Right.
They didn't let us make these, but yes, I believe she probably did Happy Holidays. And the little part of the background in here, I think she probably did that at her computer.
Right.
And
then just sent
that
it
is
over.
a file to add on to it. You could certainly, this would be super easy to do right at the design suite thing. The only thing is, and my only complaint about doing stuff like this is that no matter what order I created in, the design center IQ designer
just decides where it's going to stitch.
It chooses it chooses what goes first. So if you want things to stitch in a specific file order, you have to basically, here's my triangle, save. Here's my background motif, save. You have to do things that way and then add them in when you get to the embroidery side, which is not a big deal, but you do have to do things in a different step.
Unfortunately, a thing.
Yes, it is a thing. And we have a question. So, yes, you can do that on the Brother. You can on your fancy Brother. And I'm gonna talk about a couple of other things.
Let us, and then we'll
because they kind of pertain, and then we'll swing back to this. So we're not ignoring you.
So this particular
just cutaway.
What was just a cutaway?
That's typically how I cut away, or
depends on what. I mean, there's lots. You can make a card in just about any way that you would like.
Right.
A lot of times I use sticky, can be a cutaway, but a lot of times I just use sticky, and then this is where you put it, stick it down, and then cut it away. And then I usually put something behind.
And they gave us the pretties to put behind.
You put a pretty something to cover that up so that the inside of your card looks nice, and then you can put a whatever.
Yeah.
Either write something here or print something out to go on the other side.
They did not provide us with a glue stick.
Imagine that. They didn't have a glue stick.
Of course, they were all still trying to trim out their trees, so
there is that.
They might have had it.
Anyway, cards are super easy to do.
Yes.
But this is the organzo is a great.
It's a nice little
a great add-on, super inexpensive and easy way to add a lot to the front of a card.
Yes.
Versus trying to do a bunch of applique work and things. So that's a smart, simple, quick way to add a lot. So all right. So design suite cards, lots of fun, super easy.
Yes. And then this little zippered bag was also made in the IQ Design Center, whatever you want to call it. And this happens to be a built-in motif and a built-in line, but you could use those same...
A decorative piece from purchasing.
Exactly.
Custom.
Mm-hmm. And then this was created again in the same manner. So you kind of create your top piece. You do your zippers. You do all of that fancy stuff on the top, and then you bring in basically your finishing pieces, which are, your backing and your lining and your rectangles. And this is, if you've ever done a Kimberbell, it's basically the same thing. You've got the finished pieces on the outside. Of course, Mike Johns taught this class, and we were pretty thinned out at the point, and I purposely sat in the back. And so I had, and then somebody sat on either side of me,
right?
And And you know, I told them both when I sat down, look, if you don't want to get in trouble by the instructor, don't pay attention to what I'm doing, because I have a terrible time following instructions, right? And they gave me the instructions sitting there, so I already knew what I was doing. I knew what I was supposed to do, so I was trying really hard, right? I'm sitting there, my hand, I'm like, just stop talking so I can push the button, because if I push the button in this room, he's gonna know, right? There's no other people in here that I can blame it on, because there's only 15 of us, and so. He's like, okay, I'm going to give you the first 3 steps and now go ahead and start. And of course I already had mine hooped and it was in the hoop. And so I pushed the button, and then I was, you know, done with this part. And he's like, okay, everybody start doing your design. And the guy next to me, he's like, why does yours look different than me? And I was like, because I'm ahead of you. He's like, well, how'd you get ahead of me? I'm like, I read the instructions. And he's like, well, how did you know what to do? I'm like, I've done a bag or two. I'm like, this is a Kimberbell bag.
This is not rocket science here.
And of course, I saw the 2 different designs, so I put them both in on my screen.
So you had it all there.
So I had it all there. And, you know, my 2 neighbors only put like the top part of the design in. And so then he's like, he starts talking about the next things to do. And of course, I just keep going along and finishing up my bag. And they keep looking over at me like, mine just keeps starting over at the zipper. And I was like, you got to delete that off your screen and bring the other one. But yours doesn't look that way. I'm like, because I put mine on it at the same time. I told you. Don't follow me.
It's like, I'm telling you, you should totally wear a button when you go to save stuff.
Bothering anybody. I'm not asking anybody any questions. I'm just over here minding my own business. So our hour-and-a-half class done. I'm done in 45 minutes, right? My bag is done. I'm sitting there, and he comes over and he goes, you know, you're the first one done. I said, yes. He says, now you're required to help everyone. I said, well, these 2 will be done in 5 minutes. I said, I'm sorry. He's like, you know, if you were my student, I said, I wouldn't take your class because this would be rude. I'm like, but
since it's not, look at what I did.
Yeah, I said, look at what I did. He's like, you know, you put the wrong piece of fabric on the back. I said, no, I put the right piece of fabric on the back because that's what I wanted. I said I didn't want it to be canvasy on the back, so I put the pretty fabric on the back. So I made a design choice and I stuck with it. So that is my bag, and that is my funny Mike John's story. And he is lovely, in case anybody needs to know that. Super nice guy. And,
so this is, again, a built-in fill available on our design centers or our IQ designers.
Yes.
And this is a motif stitch that is, again, available in the design center or IQ designers. So you can add lines, add motifs, all of those things, and create things like this
in your software
at your machine. Yes. You don't have to have a pre-done design. You can build all of this at the machine. So, you know, we've talked about having classes to learn basic stuff of how you can build and things like that. So, you know, I know that sometimes we think that, oh, that's too easy, but maybe we should go backwards.
We should,
and,
right.
You know, just because it's not what we would do doesn't mean that.
Right. Just because I'm the one breaking all the rules does not mean that you guys will not appreciate.
Carol says, I want to sit next to you.
I don't know if you do, Carol. I promise you, I would totally get you in trouble.
She would totally get you in trouble.
You know, if I sit in the front of the class, it's because I'm really interested in learning what is being done. But when I sat down in the class, I did 2 things, right? I sat down at the class, I went to the machine, I turned the volume completely off so they wouldn't hear me touching the buttons. And then I made sure that the foot automatically went down on the machine, because I'm not really sure why they had it set that way.
It's sad that I did the same thing on every machine I sat on.
Those are the first 2 things that I did, because
it's like,
I just,
and you know, you push go and then you have to wait for your machine, you know, and you're just like, and then everybody in the classroom turns and looks at you and asks you questions because they're like, oh, you figured that out? Yeah.
We might have done this a time or 2.
Maybe done this. How do I do that? Okay.
Don't make eye contact.
Yep.
So it was interesting. And I did have a lot of fun, and I did meet a lot of really great people. And both Missy and Michael and Mike Johns were very gracious and completely, and I told them, please just ignore me. I promise you, if I screw this up, I will say nothing. Like, I won't be the person in the back of the room that says, hey, you know, your instructions were wrong, or hey, I messed it up, I need another kit. If I screw this up, it's all on me. But
Just ignore me.
Just ignore me. I'm like, I just can't sit through one more class where we're learning how to thread the machine. I just can't do it. I need to touch the buttons.
Yeah.
It's kind of an obsessive thing. Let me see what I can do on here.
That multi-needle class that was like, how do I tell it that threads on needle? I'm like, oh my, okay.
Yes.
And this is, of course, after the instructor
Or
told them.
Mentioned that because they were touching the buttons.
Multiple times how to do it. And you're just like, oh my God.
Right, because they're and that's why people get annoyed in classes, right? So if I'm in the classroom and I'm completely ignoring you, you would never know that because I would never open my mouth and say, hey, what did you just say? Because I would be completely embarrassed because it's my own fault. I would just sit there and pretend like I know what's going on. I am the majority. I am not the minority. Yes, I am the minority. Most people do their own thing and completely ignore us and then ask us
and then interrupt. Yeah.
Yes. So that's not me. I'm so you
definitely
want to be
adorable?
careful if you sit next to me. Right? It's so simple and so cute.
But it's so cute.
Right?
I think this is really cute.
It is really cute. I think we probably could get a little bit better vinyl.
Maybe. But the idea is it's really cute.
Yes. And super easy. And it was a great way.
You would be amazed how many dealers really don't know how to work their product. Their salespeople know how to work the product or whatever, but it's flabbergasting when you go to convention and it's like, oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay.
Yep. It's sometimes my only complaint about going to the thing is that it would be nice if there were some advanced classes for those of us who have been taking the beginner classes for the last 20 years.
Yeah. Can we age out?
Could we just get something like, and I'm okay if it's an advanced class and I don't necessarily have something to take home with me.
Right.
But if there were just some advanced or fun things or some outside of the boxes, but I definitely wish that we had some slightly more advanced things besides this is how you thread your machine. Yeah. Over and over again. So let's circle back to Carol's question, which was the design.
Do you have anything else?
I mean, I have this. It kind of speaks for itself. It's cute fabric though, right? They had Babylock printed on.
There's fabrics or something that they have. Quite a few different fabrics and threads and things that are available.
So they came out with a new collection of fabrics that are made specifically by them. It should be available.
It's on their site.
Yeah. It's not readily available yet, but they're selling it in 1 yard increments. If we have Babylock fans out there and you are interested in the fabric, we can certainly get it for you. It's very pretty. It's kind of pastel-y. It reminds me of something that would be Riley Blake-ish. So it's very cute. And I think I have a picture of some of the, not those pictures. All the pictures start to look the same in your phone. You know that?
I do. I was looking for that video that we made on how to cut something or other piece for our Black of the Month.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's blended in with so many other pictures. I was like, I don't know where it's at. It's in here somewhere, but I couldn't find it. Do we want to show this?
Yeah, definitely. Let's show, these are the design suites. So we'll bring this back up on the screen here.
This real quick. So this is what it looks like on our site. If you search for design suite, this page will come up. There's volume 1, volume 2, Zandra Shaw, and fabric confetti. So if you look at the photos, this was the first one that came out. It has Halloween, winter, Thanksgiving, and New Year's. So you can see when you're looking at photographs, the different pictures and what's available for those. This is number 2, and it had Valentine's Day, July 4th, St. Patrick's Day, and spring. So again, different themes for the different pieces. And then we've got the new ones. So this is the Zandra Shaw collection. And they will all come on the USB, so that's why you're seeing the USB there. And this is a kind of tiny picture of what is in that collection. You can see on the right are the different motif stitches. So again, if you remember back to that card, the large rectangle around the outside of the card was a motif stitch. That is going to be what you would choose one of those from the right hand side there. And then inside that rectangle would be what you would choose from these large squares over here on the left. That is the Zandra Shaw collection. And Design Suite, fabric confetti. And we don't have the different pictures here. You can see the owl in the motif.
There's a cactus.
But yeah, there's like a cowboy boot.
Do you have the files on your computer?
No, I asked you for them earlier and I didn't get them.
That, right? Do you have a USB stick?
I can get you one.
I think I have one in my bag.
I don't know where those printouts ended up. That had the pictures on them so I could read off what's there. So to more specifically answer your question, Carol, what Design Suite is. In our Solaris or Luminaires, there is the ability to bring in a custom fill or motif stitch. So when you go to the Design Center or IQ Designer, you bring in a shape. We'll just say a rectangle like what we were talking about on that card. When you go to choose the fill to literally select that in, when you bring up all of the different choices, so we've got 48 different choices now, you also have a secondary tab over next to that says custom. You click on that and you can bring in any of these from these different design suites that are created for us and bring those in. The design suite files are not embroidery designs, so they're not in a PES format or anything like that you could bring into your machine as a regular embroidery stitch. They can only be brought into either the IQ Designer or the Design Center as a custom fill or custom motif stitch. But as any of those fills or motifs, we can then alter them in size, shape, direction, the angles, all of those things that we're able to manipulate in our Design Center. You are able to manipulate these as well, which means we have a ton of playing power.
So because these designs they're not embroidery designs, so they do give you like a PNG file, which is a picture, so you can actually see it's that design suite up at the top.
Yep. Just getting rid of the... Do I want the PDFs?
You can look, I think so. So like that one says image sheet, so it might have...
Of course there is. Because why would we do that?
Right. Maybe open up.
Insufficient data. All right, let's just minimize that. What's in here?
You can definitely see the icons. There you go.
All right, so this is design suite number 1, I think. And these are the different fills that are in there.
This is the fabric confetti one.
Oh, my bad. I thought it said number 1 when I clicked on it.
It is like fabric confetti design suite 1.
Gotcha.
They could have picked some better.
He's cute.
Yeah.
Nice flowers. So again, when you bring in any of these, you can then warp them with the random shifts and all of those different things. Resize them. Horseshoes. Hummingbirds.
There's those cute little
There's
owls.
those owls that we saw on that pillow.
A couple different. This one's cute too.
Oh, that one's really cute. I like that one a lot. Some real simple. But again, you know, if you think about all of the different things that we can do with these stitches, must be the end of that one. And then there's the different motif stitches. So there's coordinating stitches, which you could put around the outside of the boxes, so on and so forth. So that is, go back.
It's a really long name. That one is,
so this is number 1. So we were looking at the,
that's the one that is in my card. There we go. There's the holiday.
this is the one that was in the card that we showed you earlier, so that you can just get an idea. And there's the ornaments. Jinx. So you can get the idea of those different, so the holidays and so on and so forth. And then this is
The Zandra Shaw one.
Zandra Shaw. So these are, again, really bad pictures.
Yeah.
Not sure what happened. We must have something on the USB that it's not. But dragonflies and ladybugs, yummy bumblebees. These are really cute. Nice flowers. Sorry about some of these picture qualities there. Birds must be the thing. I like the leaves a lot. Hummingbirds, like hummingbirds. My husband likes hummingbirds. Some beautiful things. So butterflies, so on and so forth. So you can get the idea. And again, you have all of the then stitches that go around those different pieces. So that is how you can pull that in. You go to the fill page and then click on the custom tab. You would put their USB in and pull that in. You can continue to pull in the different ones. The machine does save up to, I believe it's 12. I could be wrong, but I believe it's 12. And then it would remember those, but then you can just override that. When you go past 12, you would just overwrite that. If you have PE 11, you can actually create your own.
Or palette.
Sorry, palette 11. If you have version 11 of either PE or palette, you have the ability to create your own as well, and then you could pull that in. So if there's some specific something that you wanted to quilt with and use that feature, if you have the talent, you could create your own in there too.
So you have to have either PE 11 or palette 11, or you have to have a Luminaire or a Solaris upgraded to a 3. In order for these to be usable for you.
Yes.
Otherwise, your machine will not read them, your software will not read them.
Right.
They are not, they wouldn't be recognized. The file extensions are not readable in anything else. So, but yeah, they're so cute, and I really
so there's more coming from
at least 2 more
from Babylock. And again, Cindy Hogan has made some.
She has some cute ones too.
And I touched base with her, and she said, "Yeah, we'll figure something out," but we haven't gotten there yet. So we are hoping to get some of hers on our site, or able to purchase hers through us somehow, but we haven't gotten there figured out yet. So
awesome.
So lots of options there. So. We know a lot of you purchased those when we had that special over the past weekend. So most of those should be coming soon.
Definitely. And I think I just want to touch base with the people about that magnetic hoop. So Lisa and I are super excited about that 7x12 magnetic hoop. I didn't get to use it. They had one and it was sitting out, so I touched it. But
it's light, right?
It is very light. But we will not. There is an upgrade that will be
There's an update that will be available for all machines that are
like 8x12 and up.
Yes, 8x12 and up, that will be available.
Yes.
So if you have an XJ or XE1 or an Altair or Meridian 1,
the update is
already available. for everyone else that is an 8x12 or larger
8
machine,
by 12, 9 by 14.
all of those
us.
machines,
Yes.
it's
coming.
It's coming, but it is not yet available. So for all of you who bought the hoop, the hoops should be here
any minute.
Any minute. But when you get it, you're going to put it in the machine, and your machine will not recognize it yet until that update is put in there. So your version, whatever, I'm making this number up. It is not real, okay? So you're at 1.50. You're going to need to be at 1.51 for it to recognize it.
Right.
That bump to 5.1 isn't out yet.
Yes.
Totally made that number up, but it's not real number. But until we get that, you won't be able to stitch with that hoop. But it will be. It's coming in within the next few weeks.
Yes.
The original update that they made screwed something else up.
Yes.
So they obviously didn't release that. So, we could stitch with the 7x12, but then, your foot didn't go down or something. No, I'm making that up too, but it's something else screwed something else up. So they didn't put that out.
Yeah.
So it is coming.
It is coming.
But not out yet. So when you get your hoop and you go to put it in your machine and it goes, that's why. Don't panic.
Yep.
There's nothing wrong. It'll just be a
wait.
little bit longer before we're going to be able to stitch with it.
Yes, so we'll be able to pet it before we can use it.
Yes, we can practice, getting our fabric super smooth in that. And Miss Karen, yes, we can still get that for you.
I guess it depends on what, like, the Dream had a couple of upgrades, but it's been a while, so there's no new upgrade that would make it
new.
That would give it like the design center features, more design center features or anything like that.
The ones that were already there, we are still able to purchase the original ones that were released in its heyday.
Yes. So I don't know how much longer those upgrades.
Yeah, I don't know that I would wait super long. If you haven't done it yet and you're thinking that you would like to, I would think about doing that before too much longer, because they will run out at some point.
Yeah, they definitely aren't making any more.
Right.
And they will run out of stock at some point.
Yep.
All right.
What she said.
Do you have anything else? We shared a lot.
We did. No, except for this cute thing.
Oh yeah. We have if you're in part of our block of the month, or we are making big progress on it. So
that is It looks like a quilt now instead of a bunch of blocks.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got border number 1s on in our sashing.
And so you will, if you are in the club, you will be receiving that sashing
soon
for this month's stuff, or September's stuff, along with the quilting files to do that.
Yeah, so we are verifying that it all is coming along and trying to make the instructions.
It appears to work.
It appears to work, now we're just trying to make sure the instructions make sense to someone who didn't do it, since I did it. She's double checking to make sure.
I think I've got a couple little things.
All right.
But yeah, I think we're good. So you should be getting your emails for that soon.
Yep.
So thank you so much for spending some time with us.
Yep.
I think we've got all of the questions answered that are in there.
Just FYI, we're closed this weekend. So
we are. So Saturday and Monday, we are not going to be here. Right. So please don't drive out to see us.
And Saturday is the first home game for U of M. So if you were thinking about coming into Ann Arbor to do other shopping, you might want to
reschedule that.
Yeah, it could be. It's crazy. So we're gonna have a long weekend. We'll all get a little break after these last couple of crazy weeks.
And get maybe some stuff caught up.
Right, and we'll see you guys next week. All right.
We shall. Thank you again. Don't forget to like us,
subscribe,
follow, all of those whatevers.
All of those things.
And we'll see you next time.
All right.
Thanks. Have a great holiday. See you then.
Bye.
Whenever then is. Bye.